Hello, my gold trading compadres. Omar here with your weekly analysis for Operation Gold Rush for the week starting 5/26. Before we get to that, actually, I want to review an event that happened last week that had us all very excited when it was occurring and somewhat disappointed by the end of the candle. Of course, those of you who are trading Thursday should know exactly what I'm talking about. And that is our, I'll call it the fake out of the month. We know we've been attempting to break out of this triangle. It's a major area, and 1300 was also exactly where the trend line met, the major trend line. And some of us actually took the initial breakout here after we broke above a minor trend line and the horizontal support and resistance area of 1295. That was my first position, and 2 hours later price screamed up through 1300, and I thought I'd be able to add a second position on the breakout and potentially even a third position if 1305 broke, which is kind of the area above. Unfortunately, by the end of the candle we tucked right back under the trend line, negating our entry for that breakout. I was able to squeak by with some gain, although it was not as big as it probably should have considering the size of this candle, which total was 64 pips, and the breakout above the trend line even went for 33 pips. So you can see this is precisely why we have the rules in place for our trading, because geez, it sure looked like we were getting the breakout, and you can imagine when the candle was all green and up at the top, we were all kind of starting to see that as almost a sure thing. Had we placed the order even several minutes before candle close, by the time the candle closed, we would have definitely been in drawdown, having to make a tough call since we maybe close out the order. We never got a chance to recover any of that, and we turned the other direction. On Friday, we made another run at the trend line, stopped to the pip on it, as well as broke through the fib area a little bit. So for those of you who were thinking about trading Friday, looked like the market was going to make another run at it, but with Memorial Day weekend and low volume, I'm not surprised we didn't break it. Where that leads us to at the moment is we're still waiting for this major area to break out, and I think this may be the week to do it. So let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit to the weekly chart, and I'll have to zoom in on the actual candles because we've got a lot of horizontal support and resistance lines. You can see that we are still tightly tucked within this triangle, and we expect to break out at some point, and looks like where our weekly candle is, this might be the week. As we come into the summer trading session, which I always look at starting with Memorial Day, ending with Labor Day, we find ourselves in need of a breakout. Price has continued to get squished into the tip of the triangle, and this will definitely be the primary focus for this week. So as we get down to the smaller time frames, you can see it was very well maintained on the daily, and we certainly are looking at a sideways market at the moment. This is not the ideal market for breakout trading because we like things to move. There have been smaller time frame trades to be taken. I know a lot of you have been doing very well just by taking daily trend line breaks along with a horizontal support and resistance. We have had several areas within the triangle to work from. I've made some pips. I know some of you have made more than me over the last week or two in doing so. But this really becomes the primary area of focus. We can go ahead and dump these two trend lines. I was going to before the video, but figured we might as well do it together. Those no longer seem relevant to me. But what does seem relevant, and let's go ahead and key in on these areas, is of course going to be the triangle. On the top side of the triangle, we also have a very important horizontal support and resistance at 1300. And on the bottom end of the triangle, we have a very important support and resistance, which is a major fib, and also 1285, although the major fib is probably more important. If we were to get a break outside of the fib and the trend line, I would definitely take the trade even if it had not cleared 1285, although I would be looking for that to clear very quickly afterwards. We would want the bigger move. I'm telling you, the patience in waiting for the correct trade should pay dividends for us in coming week if we get the breakout. We do need some volume, and again, a big move has to be backed up with volume, as lots of traders have to decide that this is going to be the move that they want to get into. And I can tell you from scanning around the world of gold, all you have to do is just go to Forex Factory and look at their gold related forums, and you can see there are lots of people watching this triangle. We're not the only we're not the only game in town, I guess. But one thing we definitely have is we have a great set of rules and a great approach. So now we just need the markets to come along with us and decide that they want to make a move. So maybe we'll start a new trend, or maybe we'll just get a good size breakout, which should be rather enjoyable to trade and potentially offer us some great gains. We can talk about kind of the bigger price target areas. If we get an upside breakout, and remember, we're not going to try to figure out whether it's going to break up or down. Either way, we want to take the trade. But if it does break up, we have the fib and 1313 to contend with. This should be the next kind of major area I would anticipate gold to stop. On the downside, that's going to be 1277.65. It was a prior low and seems to be a pretty strong area. Below that, we do have a fib and a horizontal SR down at around between 1265 and 1262.5. But this nice open space in the downside gives us, over 100 and 120 pips of really clear space. So I'm not saying I prefer the downside breakout, but it does seem like there's less in the way. On that note, be careful and stick to the rules. They are designed, studied, researched, all that, to make the trading as safe as possible, as profitable as possible. But the only thing that we need to add to that is that we have to stick to the rules. So I wish everybody a great week. Hope to see you in the forum. It's been a great place to exchange ideas. It's a great place to share your trading experience. And when we come together as a group in that situation, I feel that we all benefit from it. So I hope to see you there. Lots to learn, lots of great people to talk to. We've had visits from Pierre and Mary, which are two of Forex Minute Pro's best traders, and we are always happy to see you there as well. And on that note, let's go out and get some points. See you guys in the gold market.